Hello everyone, I welcome you on another Destiny Rising video. It's a new patch, new character, which means a new guide. And this time we will go over the best artifacts and weapons for 5-star Ikora and also briefly talk about her skills. And yeah, actually let's start with her skills. And the first one is called Stellar Projection. Ikora fires a laser in a straight line that deals void damage and applies a mark to enemies, which explodes after 1 second. So pretty straightforward skill. As we can see, the laser, and also we see a debuff on them, which explodes almost immediately. Then the next one is called, it's finally movement skill for our spread character. The first one. And what we have, it's called Void Traversal. Ikora dashes forward, reloads her currently equipped weapon, and generates one micro black hole. Firing weapon launches this black hole at the target, and this black hole pulls nearby enemies and applies confine to them. Let's actually check. So we fire the weapon first, then we jump, and we can see that enemies are pulled together and confined. Actually, confined is quite long for them. And what bug we have sometimes, as you can see, we can reload two bullets to our main weapon. And also let me refresh the skills. Also 2 weapons to our heavy weapon. Especially useful on the Calamity Ops. You can do this before starting the run. Then to the super. So it is quite an easy one. Ikora summons 8 falling stars to the target location, dealing massive AoE void damage, and each of the falling stars apply a debuff to enemy within the area, increasing the damage enemies take from Ikora and also applying confine. So as you can see, Ikora is quite a control character. Almost all of her skills apply confined. And let's take a look. Skill looks great. Wouldn't avoid it. As you can see, we deal like 2.5 million damage, which is quite a lot. It's really a lot. My Ikora currently is tier 0, so didn't do her T6 yet. Enormous damage. I really like it. And now let's take a look at her passive skill, which is called Void Annihilation. So each of every our blast from the light grenade launcher or rocket launcher will fill our annihilation light meter. And once we reach 72 and use our movement ability, we will enter Void Annihilation state, which increases the amount of the annihilation light we take, also refreshes our Void Traversal, and empower our skills. After this ends, annihilation state ends, it refreshes our skills, Stellar Projection and Void Traversal, to 1 and 2 respectively. And also leaves us 24 stacks of annihilation light, so we can keep it for quite some time. And the last one is her weapon mastery. It's easy one. All of our shots from GL or rocket launcher will deal additional damage if enemies are affected by our debuffs. And that's mainly it about her skills. Now let's talk a little bit about the weapons. So I spent a huge number of hours testing different mythics, different combinations for her, and thanks also for the community, we were able to identify one like meta weapon, which is called 4-horned ram, which deals even more damage than Truth. So I really like this weapon, and as main weapon we use this drill, the Dwergar drill, which awesome. So let's start with this one. It's an excellent single shot exotic for Ikora. It's really cool. Its main perk that upon colliding with an enemy or surface, it splits in multiple separate projectiles and deals additional damage. excellent weapon against Shinkas, spread Shinkas. Due to these additional explosions, it creates more AoE area, so that helps us with the opening spread Shinkas. And her second weapon is four-horned ram. That's just because of these two perks. First one is Warpal Weapon, which increases damage against powerful enemies, bosses, elites, and etc. It also light burst in the super, so it's also some PvP weapon. But this one is really cool. It's called Cluster Bomb. So once rocket detonates, it releases 8 additional projectiles after the main explosion, and it increases both single damage and AoE damage. That is really cool weapon. Let me show you how it looks like. You can see that these additional explosions are happening all around the enemy, so and deals quite a good damage. Each of them deals almost like half a damage of the initial explosion. So really cool weapon. And what's the best thing about this one, that you don't actually need a fitting matching perk for this one. So because this one doesn't even have the perk Warpal Weapon, as you can see, and this one, well, it game tracking capabilities for Cluster Bomb. It's easier to maintain damage, but it is not necessary. I would definitely suggest you to focus more on the substats. I use here the damage bonus versus boss and powerful enemies plus minimal blast damage. It increases the damage. Here weapon hit damage bonus, handling is okayish, and here the close range damage velocity is okay, but yeah, that's mainly it about the weapons. So that is the meta currently, which is running by most of the pro players. There is only one, like, actually there's two potential alternatives. First one is our Bulwark Ops weapon. It uses, if you use Fraternity and Polyploidy, you can deal quite a significant single target damage, but the AoE damage will be okayish. And for Expanse, currently the top one of Expanse using Truth for this one, but actually I tested it on a different account. I didn't really like Truth at all. For me, the Dwergar Drill is much better weapon. And if you still want to use Truth, yeah, feel free to use this one, but then for the main weapon you should use Present Fleet with Fraternity and Ploidy. It will increase the damage against the enemies. It is okayish damage, but, well, for me, Dwergar Drill is still the best exotic for the spread characters, especially when you have such a strong mythic as the Four-Horned Ram. Now let's talk about artifacts. And oh gosh, owners of the Maru, you are lucky. After like dozens of hours testing of these new artifacts for Ikora, overall spread artifacts, I found out that still the best artifact that you can use is the artifacts from Maru. And also, that's the interesting thing, that we can use Rampaging Pact, because these mini black holes that we have, they are counted as summons. So our Rampaging Pact will be triggered to give us some additional damage. Let's take a look at the artifacts. So what we are using Undaunted Blazar. It will grant us 25 damage resistance when gaining an overshield. Then we're using the Siphoning Blazar, increasing the amount of overshield gained from area damage if you already have an overshield. And we use as the properties here, we use shield, overshield, defense, and ranged. You can use also elemental instead of ranged, but as we think that Ikora is the ranged character, I would still prefer to have this one. For the damage, we fully reusing Maru offensive artifacts. It is Rampaging Pact, which increases our damage by 33% after casting our movement skill, which summons these micro black holes. And Bellicose Blazar, which increases the 25% of AoE damage and also increases our movement skill after the AoE damage is triggered. For the properties, we are using ability, weapon, void, and either signature or super. It actually, for the 4 stat doesn't really matter for her. You can use both her ulti or Q skill quite a lot, so there is no significant difference for this one. I am using the signature currently. As an alternative, for the 4th slot, you can use explosive shell. It will deal plus 48% blast damage and 48% radius. But as Ikora is more related to the her skills, I would still prefer to have the Bellicose Blazar as her skills are AoE. So that's the current meta for Maru. Do I personally like 5-star Ikora? I would say no, because her skills, especially the movement skill, is mediocre. As you can see, like the distance of the jump is low. Control skills, well, yes, that's good. I don't really know like whether we will have so much of the opportunities to use of the control skills, because currently it's more about the damage that you did and how fast you open the shrinkers. Might be later on, once we have some new events or some new activities, she will be useful. For now, well, you can live with Maro, to be honest. I still didn't have a chance to run new Calamity Ops. Might be she will shine there, I don't know, but for movement skills you will be using either Jaren or Ningfei. I think it will be Ningfei, he is both Arc and Void. So, well, it's a grouping that should do well, useful, but overall it's 50-50 for me. What do you think about the Ikora? Might be you know some better meta, or you using some different artifacts or weapons. Please give your opinion into our comments. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. At the end of the video, I will keep some part where I do one run of the legendary to show her in the action, not on the practice range. And yeah, thank you very much for the support. Um, Subscribe to my channel, and I see you in the next one.
Let's keep moving. This breath will be your last. Celestial energies have converged to reach apotheosis. Supernova will leave only wreckage and dust in its and here I thought we'd be up against something more difficult. The key is brains, not brawn.